And we are back in VNOG. It's actually, yeah, it's been over a year. The footage and script I wrote that you're about to see was actually recorded and written over a year ago. So, my actual recording voice is the only thing new about this. I also have some additional footage in the backlogs, but after chapter four, it'll be probably new footage. But yeah, just as an example of how long I've been holding this off. Let's see what else. Oh yeah, frickin' Waven's probably gonna come out before I even do episode or chapter 5. So that's it's crazy how time flies. Anyway, without further ado, let's get into it. Where we last left off, I guess Reidak and Thok fought us and lost and are still at large somewhere. However, now we have a new possible place to look for the Mask of Life, the Voyanui Caves, or just the Nui Caves as they're officially known. As this chapter gives just a small taste of a cave system, there are actually no new dig spots and only a few new enemy drops. So, incoming drop spoilers, timestamps on the screen, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's not really much to look at. There are several new Nectan encounters, including the debuff Nectan, Black Nectan, Combat Nectan, and Key Guardian, which is really just a tankier defense Nectan without the harpoon attack. Likewise, these encounters are rare, and even when load-seeing the encounters, when they do happen on a separate save slot, I wasn't able to find much, so apologies if this looks incomplete. I genuinely wasn't able to find much that any of them drop. I can't exactly data mine this game, even if I wanted to. I'm not a coding wizard. I know jack shit about that. In terms of interesting items, the Combat Nectan obviously drops a medium attack armor of stone, if you want an alternative to the ice one. They also drop a noble version of a stone mask, which is weaker than the stone burn axe version, but if you didn't pick it up by this point, it's a thing. The keys dropped by the Key Guardian are a guaranteed quest item, so I wouldn't worry about that either. At any rate, it's time we explore these caverns, which means clearing out the Nectan swarms that beat us to it. Naturally, the scout found us first, as always, though at this point the Zamor launcher is still proving to be quite busted. Gotta make sure the repair Nectan doesn't tell its friends. Time we saw the debuff Nectan in action. Like the repair Nectan, they don't have any forms of offense, they just debuff random stats. This can be almost anything from movement points to action points to RP. Oh no, my range points. See, unlike the Protodermis, the debuff actually applies this time because I'm wearing a mask. Just a lone defense Nectan left. I really should have created a diversion to fight them all at once. Probably would have been more interesting of a fight, but I'm better at thinking behind than thinking ahead. Level up already? Should I keep maxed out on technique or round my stats a little? There are a couple connected screens that were oddly inaccessible before. Both lead to giant borders that seem to section off yet another area. Ooh, Stoneburnek. Can't ever fight enough of those. No dice. Darn. And it's apparently too dark to progress any further. Oh well, I guess we can just talk to Garen again. A plot hole already. It says we need to repair the lightstone in the cave, even though we already retrieved one in Chapter 1. Maybe I meant to refer to that one, but still. We finally get to meet the Resistance Team's scout, Pyrrhus the Scaredy Cat. I would have preferred if it was shown on screen in the hut, but whatever. And while repairing the lightstone, he asks us to get food for his domesticated pet Burnak. Oh yeah, amidst all the chaos I got another water spear as a reward for fighting the Nektan, because I really needed another one this late into the game. Hooray! Chapter 2 PTSD! I guess I've been fighting them for so long, I've finally gotten the mask. Also, yes, those leaf-looking things in the bottom right are the Burnak food. Didn't expect them to be eating plants. Maybe they're omnivorous or some shit. Here's your dog food, piss pants. Now give me the lightstone tools. Finding the Mask of Life is kind of a time-sensitive operation. Slave room? Okay. Oh, hello there. Nothing a harpoon can't solve.
Must serve the Paraka. Must find the Mask of Life.
We meet our first brainwashed Matoran. Unfortunately, all of them look like brown Pyrrhus, even after they've been brought back to normal. I would have personally preferred some one-off Matoran designs. Maybe they could have asked Atan to make a few extra sketches. I mean, Stuart Sager made a ton of one-off Matoran, many of whose masks were later canonized. Might as well clear out these guys since I'll be backtracking here a lot. You know, while I'm here, I might as well check out the rest of the place. Just checking to see if this gate leads anywhere. I guess they're both barred for the time being. Drill equipment. Perhaps the Paraka intend to expand their reaches. Talk to Balta again? Why Balta? We both know he's gonna redirect us to Garen. You know what would make more sense? If the quest asked us to talk to Garen first, and then he redirected us to talk to Balta, who's the whole weaponsmith of the group and the most likely member to have a cure anyways. Next to Velika, that is. Anyway, we get to learn a bit about the mind-controlling green stuff called Antidermis. Obviously countered by Protodermis, the metal that comprises a lot of the Bionicle universe. Antidermis, by contrast, is more of a sentient creature, the spirit of whom has yet to be revealed. The Paraka found this green ghost goo by accident in someone's abandoned lair, and are partially under its influence, so spreading it to the Matoran is a shorthand way to make them do their bidding. Why haven't they used this on us so far? Apparently, being transformed by lightning from a red space station makes us immune to it. I don't know, don't ask. Probably made more sense on paper. Let's free the bitch! Rescuing the Matoran gives us another reward, a light defense Kanohi of Stone. Yay! I guess at least this time it kind of ties into the next quest, but they could still give us a noble or something. No problem, you're welcome, whatever, it was nothing. I guess it's time to sabotage the drill. To Pyrrhic we go! Another favor for him first. He needs an invisibility stone, which were stolen by some Stoneburnak. It's that one screen with the water slash I forgot about in the last chapter like a dumbass. Back to Area 3 then. While I'm here, I might as well farm the local fauna for some more stuff, since my searches were kinda dry last episode. Finally, the almighty water slash! You and I both know I'm not going to use it, but now I can at least say that I have it. Also, stone burnac galore. Let's hope they drop something good. Not a single drop. I guess today really isn't my day. A box of metal-eating insects? That's oddly specific. Let's hope they don't eat us then. still looks functional to me. As it happens, I found out almost before rendering the video that this wasn't an act of laziness. It was a mistake, or possibly a last-minute cover-up. An alternate drill room that's completely wrecked does exist if you type in move 511. Furthermore, this drill room spawns in more Nectan for a later quest. I'll really have to showcase it all in a separate mini video or something. And now we reach the final quest of the chapter. Bust in, bash a bunch of Nectans, steal their keys, and stop the Paraka from doing their funny business again. So we finally run into a few of the new Nectan types. First off are these guys, the Key Guardians. Like I said before, they just seem to be defense Nectan with higher HP and the harpoon grabbing attack removed. They'd probably be considered a threat if you didn't stop to take out the other Nectan in advance, but unfortunately I did. One key down, 2 to go. Back on the subject of the wrecked drill room, a 4th Keymaster appears for this quest along with a Scout Nectan, Repair Nectan, and 2 Defense Nectan. Having 4 keys instead of 3 changes very little, considering there are only 2 locked gateways. And maybe it would have been just a smidge more tedious. Still, the fact that extra Nectan spawn would keep it a challenge, even if you cleared out the others in advance. With all 3 keys, one of the locked doors is now accessible. The stupid thing that makes little sense is that the other door only unlocks at the start of the next chapter with no communication on the game's part. See? This door is only unlockable in Chapter 4, even though you technically have the key to access it. They artificially barricaded it because the quest requires that you go through the other door to reach the Paraka. Naturally, you'll understand why this becomes a problem in Chapter 4. In other news, our second new Nectan model, the Black Nectan. It's rather unique in that its attacks push the player backwards, and it can group buff its team's movement points. Sadly, this was one of its few appearances, and I killed it like nothing. I'll try to show it off in a later chapter. Lastly are these Combat Nectan, which are straight up offense. Fire moves, high crit, decent dodge, a sort of predecessor to another Nectan model down the line. We'll have to get to that one later. I know it's a small, simple thing, but I actually like little enemy combinations like this that we haven't seen before. It's not the most mind-blowing setup in the world, but little things like that just put a smile on my face, you know. They're back! While I normally call this lazy recycling, the combination of Reidak and Thok is actually really clever because it now creates the new context of Thok stat buffing Reidak instead of his frozen pine trees, so you really have to take out one of them fast. There it is, Reidak the powerhouse. And Thok is guarding him. Fantastic. I suppose I'll spare him around to show what he can do under Thok's bad influence. I gave you an opening, and you still disappoint me. Somehow the drops I gained from Reidak's encounter in Chapter 1 didn't save properly, so now I'm getting all this gear a second time. Doesn't really matter because I'm not going to use any of it, but the collector in me feels it's nice to finally get the stuff back, I guess. Oh yeah, the giant portal thingy. Don't worry, I didn't miss anything. It won't be functional until quite a few chapters later. And that was Chapter 3. It's kind of a throwaway breather chapter, but Chapter 4 is where things really get crazy. For better or for worse. Until next time.